Change is inevitable. Seasons change. Our bodies change. The economy changes. The challenge is when it's time for a change, many people aren't willing to make that step. Let me ask you a question. Are you living your purpose? Or maybe you're just in a job that you're so successful, you're not willing to make the change, but you're really unfulfilled. You're living somebody else's dream, helping them become successful, but you're not living your purpose, your passion, not building your own dreams. Have you gotten to that point in life where you really want to make a change? You want to branch out, do what really fulfills you, but you're not sure how? Well, let me ask you, if you weren't afraid, what would you do? Kermit the Frog here.
You know, Kermit the Frog eats flies, dates a pig, and he's a Hollywood star. He's living his dreams. What do you need to do now to start living your dreams?
And if you're not willing to do what it takes to live your dreams, ask yourself, what's it costing you to stay where you are? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. What are your options to begin living your purpose?
One of the first options most people do is they dabble in small things and they venture out, maybe go to a weekend retreat and decide they're going to learn how to be a life coach, or you go to some motivational seminar or start reading self-help programs and say, I'm going to make changes. And then you start learning about different business ventures and you dabble in the small things but never make it the big things happen.
A big challenge if you're just dabbling and venturing out in these small ways is the limited amount of time. Time's running out. How are you going to get to that place of really living your purpose and making the living that you want if you're just approaching it 5 to 10 hours a week?
You know, at the point it gets to, you're not doing what you really want to do, it leads to frustration and loss.
And many people, they end up splitting themselves between their hobby of wanting to live their purpose and their job. And they end up mentally, emotionally, physically drained. And they end up withdrawing from the idea of ever living their passion and basically just give up. Now, the second option that many people use, I've been guilty of this in the past, is
burn the boats.
Like, I quit. I'm out of here.
Absolutely. Like, this is it. I'm going to do it. I don't care what it takes. I don't like them. I'm going to make the change and I'm not going to worry about what happens. But that just leads us to unbelievable stress without a safety net. And it doesn't actually have you doing things the smart way because you're working at a scarcity versus abundance. And it really is the best way to fail.
And when you lose that security, you don't have that safety net, that nest egg there to work on. You start focusing on all the stress, the work, the expectations, the management of time, the anxiety, the fear keeps you up late at night. Well, then you struggle maintaining your focus and you're not living your purpose. You're living not even paycheck to paycheck. You're struggling to get by.
And most of the time, people end up taking the approach of fire, ready, aim. You know, that's not the way it is. It's ready, aim, fire. But here's what happens. You keep missing the target. And you have this purpose. You have this passion. You want to be able to make a difference in your life and others. But there's so many different ways to go that taking action without enough information is just confusion.
And it ends up costing you a ton of time and ultimately costing you money when you make those mistakes and you don't know the right steps to take. Again, the fire ready aim may seem like a very John Wayne way to do things, but it's not the right way to transform your life.
And you're probably very successful in what you do. We see it very often where you're a specialist in your current field, but the knowledge isn't transferable to a new venture. You can be a project manager or an engineer or a gynecologist or a stay-at-home mom, and then you decide, okay, I want to be a social worker, I want to be a therapist, I want to be a life coach, I want to be a business consultant, I want to be a strategist. But the tools and resources you learned in what you did prior isn't necessarily applicable to the new venture. And you end up standing there just like Lucy, selling your services for 5 cents and wondering why no one's buying.
Exactly. And then the next biggest challenge is many times when people are making this change, and again, they're stepping into the world of coaching or becoming an entrepreneur, they start looking to friends for advice. But those friends usually came from the same place that you did, which means working for somebody else. So now you're following the advice of somebody else who's never walked the path. They don't know the struggles of becoming a business owner. They don't know the levels of expertise that you need to be that consultant, to be that coach. And all of a sudden, time starts ticking faster and faster.
Until you want to blow it up.
So where do you start? What is the first thing that you need to do? Well,
Most important thing is find people who've done it before. Work with people who've made the path, who've succeeded, that you can follow, and it's not going to be something that you're stumbling through. I like to refer to it as finding trusted guides.
my name is Willard Barth.
And my name is Lisa Lieberman-Wang, and we're the founders of NAP Coaching Academy, where we're changing lives through the art of neuroscience.
The NAP Coaching Academy is a comprehensive program that's based on more than 50 years of experience. And it started as an idea a little over 2.5 years ago. Lisa and I were approached by some of our clients who asked, where can we learn to do what you do and how you do it?
And at the time, we already had our practice flourishing and had our clients, and we weren't looking to do anything else. So we looked at the industry and asked what works and what doesn't, and why are so many people struggling, especially since it's a $2 billion industry. And what we found is that most people in the industry and that we're coaching, we're earning less than $28,000 yearly. And when you look at the amass of money available, you have to ask why only a small percent are actually succeeding.
Now, luckily, Lisa and I have been involved in the field for decades, and we do know people who have succeeded. So rather than just looking at our own success, we did what we do best, which is we look at other successful people and we look for what are the principles, what are the commonalities, the common threads that allow all of them to succeed. And what we found was
that it really required multiple certifications. It wasn't just going to a weekend seminar and learning how to be a life coach and thinking they're going to make a six-figure income and change lives. It really became months and months of information, knowledge, application skills, techniques, resources that were applied on a regular basis that created perfection. Understanding behavior modification and cognitive behavior therapy, talk therapy, Gestalt, humanistic, somatic, understanding human psychology to the level of why people do what they do and how to influence people by understanding what influences them, whether it be psychodynamic psychotherapy or
neurolinguistic programming, six human needs psychology, understanding personality profiles, communication styles. Again, whether you're a business owner who's looking to be a better leader with your team, who's looking to inspire people more, or whether you're looking to be a coach, a consultant, a mentor, you have to be embracing the fact that you have to understand human behavior and you have to be a master influencer. But the next step is another part that all of the people that Lisa and I knew who were extremely successful, the top 1% of the coaches in the world, they also invested in studying business. They knew about business management, they knew about marketing, they knew about sales, they knew about all the complexities of social media. There was so much that these people had, and ourselves, had put into mastering their role to become the top 1%. So if somebody wanted to duplicate what Lisa and I had achieved and these others had achieved, they'd have to invest 50 years in studying what we'd studied. They'd have to invest over $1 million in that education, because it's like getting 4 PhDs and during your residencies to actually apply, or your internships to apply what you've learned. And the biggest part of what they had to do was they'd have to spend time traveling the world, because the teachers don't always come to you. You'd have to travel the world studying and working with some of the best people in the industry so you can be the best.
And what happened is, for me, I actually ended up working with many of the best in the world because of my own personal transformation. I was introduced to Tony Robbins 25 years ago, and if you look on the right, that's me and Tony. And then on the bottom center, my husband Yardley and I are with Tony and Sage, and we traveled around the world with them, as well as other masters, whether it's Mark Hyman or Raymond Aaron or Dr. Bandler, Grinda, or Mark Victor Hansen, Tom Hopkins. I mean, it got to the point where I wanted to follow every single person that Tony ever mentioned in a footnote in a book, or anyone I heard about in the industry, whether it had been, Arianna Huffington, or reading books from Jay Abraham and Earl Nightingale and Napoleon Hill and Byron Katie. Well, actually, I saw Byron Katie, but I can keep going on and on. The point is that I personally invested over $1 million in my education over the last 25 years. And Willard, you did as much as me, realizing that in order to get all this knowledge, there wasn't one place that we were able to acquire it. So when our clients came to us saying, well, how do we learn to do what you do? We really had to take a deep look and say, I don't even know where I can send them today. And many of the people that have mentored us aren't even alive today. That was another challenge. Jim Rohn isn't even here anymore, and so many others. And we looked at it and said, well, what is it we need to do to be able to serve people at the highest level? And one of our missions is to touch more lives than Oprah by helping people who will help people. And we realized there was a need. There was a need out there to have something where people can succeed at the highest level, but not to be glorified goal setters and life coaches, but to really have a proven roadmap, something that gives them step-by-step systems and instructions that will work time and time again.
And so they'd be guided by mentors who actually have been there and made the transformation themselves. Lisa and I have both, as you'll learn if you join this journey with us, have overcome tremendous obstacles in ourselves, turned them around, and become tremendous successes. But again, we haven't just done it for ourselves. We've helped others do the same thing for decades. And we do that by using and staying on top of cutting edge technology that's focused on getting people results.
And there are three keys to success. And the three keys that always comes back to at the end of the day is transformation, skills, and having a business plan.
Now, what if the change that you're avoiding really is the one thing that's going to set you apart, that's going to make you different, that's going to give you wings? Personal transformation is where it begins. You have to go through that transformation yourself. So it's not just theory, but you are actually sharing with people every step of the path that can take them from where they are to where they want to be because you have walked that path before. The next thing that you need to have is
elite level transformational skills. It's not enough to know it has everything to do with application and helping people walk that path so that they can see the other side. Sometimes it is so foreign to them because they're stuck in their position, and it's your job to be able to give them the resources to be able to comprehend an opportunity that would change their lives in every single way.
You have to really understand. We used the term before about glorified goal setters. An executive at a company who's going to pay you a six-figure income to work with them doesn't need you to help them set goals and hold them accountable. What they need is somebody that can help them get past those mental blocks where they continue to self-sabotage, where they continue to run into these roadblocks that prevent them from reaching their potential. So the income that you create is going to be determined by the value you bring to the market. And that is the skill set that you have of being able to get in, get it done, and get out.
Absolutely. And the next thing you need is a business plan, not theory, but something written down, projected for the future, knowing who you're going to market, having the proper skills in business that will support the people that you're looking to help.
Now, they say all the time that people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And you have to recognize if you're getting ready to make that change and you've been an employee all your life and you're getting ready to walk into the world of entrepreneurism, you need to understand how to create a strategic plan and how to execute. That's the only way that you're ever going to be financially free. And we all know that they say money can't buy happiness, but
it'll actually give the freedom for your family, for your luxuries, for your happiness, and the travel you can do in supporting others. And your success is definitely commensurate to the number of people you help. And the more people you help, the more people you'll be able to serve in your own family as well.
But this isn't about us. This is about you. You have the ability to replicate our success because we have put together the program that you can follow to build your business and make that change and start helping other people, living your purpose. But you don't want to hear that from us. How about hearing it from some of our former students and the results that they've created having used NAP Coaching Academy's processes, skills, strategies, and techniques?
Within 10 days of you deciding to, so to speak,
let people know what you were doing, you had done over $10,000, $20,000 in sales, and by the end of the month, you had capped out at 45,000, which is an amazing, amazing record. Most people would love to do that part-time in a year, what you did in a month. So that's pretty exciting.
My reason for taking the NAP program, I had the benefit of knowing you and Willard and observing you and your successes over the years. And so my whole mindset was, if I just tap into what you know, I will automatically get where I want to go. So, I mean, successful people follow successful people. So if I tap into what you do, I'm going to save a heck of a lot of money and a lot more time, because you're going to be able to condense what you know into a shorter period of time. 25 years of learning, for me to be involved in a program that was a year-long program, I thought that was a pretty good trade-off, since I'm, you know, an older adult. And some of the things that got my attention was the piece with putting together your business plans and things like that. It was very comprehensive. Was I apprehensive? Oh yeah, the monetary investment was pretty intense. Here I had a debilitated mom. I was working like crazy hours, seeing patients from 7 to 3. I had patients, and then I had to take care of mom from 3 until 7 the next morning, and she's paralyzed. I mean, you have to do everything for her. And so, you know, my time was really slammed. I was burning the candle at both ends. For me to take that on was a big step. The monetary investment was a huge step. It was very apprehensive for me. I had closed a business to take care of my mom, and I had a lot of pieces to put together. It was just a lot of stuff. The first thing was my personal growth, that I think the beginning of the program, first let me say, that's the most intensive training I've had, even through my naturopathic studies, and college has never been as intense as some of the materials that we covered and absorbed through the process of the program. But my personal growth and overcoming some things in my personal life was number one. I think that set the stage for me to even be able to have the confidence to implement. Every client that I brought on with that with the NAP has been new clients. My first client was $4,997, and and it was $79.97. I just gave her a discount of $49.97 because of her referral from this person. And so that's how that went. And then I went on and did, I'm like, dang, that works. So I'm going to do it again. And if you implement all the pieces, if you don't have the pieces that help you with your own personal growth, then you're not going to be able to help anybody else in theirs. But in your business, that personal growth will shine through and make your business even more successful. Then you put the business pieces that you guys gave us. It has transformed my whole life. I have saved money for the first time. I mean, in a savings account. Like, you know, we got to put a roof on the house, and my husband, I lost $200,000 in a business, just so everyone knows. So I had crippling financial challenges when I decided to do this. And this was my light at the end of the tunnel. And that's how I approached it. And I gave it 150%. My commitment, my actions.
As I was going through the program, one of my issues at the gym was my closing ratio, and it's the way we're working on with the team for a 3-month period that I took track of. My team closed out of 104 new potential clients. They got 7 to purchase a package. Speaking with Lisa, getting her advice, and using the NLP and NAP and making some adjustments to our system and the wording of it all. The next 11 people that came in, 10 of them made a purchase. So those 10 clients were basically $22,000 in income, in extra income that we generated right away.
Biggest takeaways was doing the assignments, participating, asking questions. I feel like those are definitely what propelled me in my success today. I also feel that the dedication that you and Willard give, your 110% that you give to each and every one of us, specifically with myself, really helped. And I would say, closer to the end of the course, when we were able to actually start coaching clients, like with the different exercises, doing that while I had you guys to go back to and talk to really made the difference. How did it help me? It helped me in marketing. It helped me in understanding people, building rapport, building trust, showing up as a blank slate so that I can serve them without any judgment or any of my own story. And it turned my Reiki practice into a very successful business.
Okay, awesome.
So I hadn't been working, and my husband decided that he wasn't going to help me pay for this course. And so it was a huge decision in the sense that I had just started my practice to make the investment in the NAP Academy. So, but doing, I took the leap of faith in myself and in you and Willard, and knew that I would come out with skills that would make me successful.
And what happened?
I was able to pay off the NAP Academy within the first year, and had even extra income after that. Well, I doubled my income from last year, and I'm working about 15 hours a week, and I yielded just about $40,000.
I had to put an actual hard dollar amount on the NAP Coaching Academy. It would be $150,000. It would be comparable to medical school, law school, an MBA, an advanced graduate, a postgraduate degree, without a doubt. Joining the NAP Coaching Academy has been, and I am positive will continue to be, the best decision I've ever made.
So now you've heard from our students. Again, these are real life case studies of people who have gone through our program, applied the skills, and have made tremendous amounts of money. You've heard of people going from $200,000 in debt to making $45,000 in 1 month and getting to the point where they're able to set aside money to replace a roof on their house. And I don't know if you own your home, but replacing a roof is not cheap.
No, it's like $20,000.
You've heard from another student who's only working 15 hours a week and making $40,000 a year.
Part-time.
Part-time.
Wow.
So many things that you've heard from the students, and we just wanted to make sure to share that with you. So, it's time to make a decision. You've been thinking about making a change, but nothing happens until you make a decision.
So get started. Embrace the change now. We know you've got this.
You've got this. Start living your purpose. Don't just think about it. Take the steps now. Now, this is an application process. This is not a course for everyone. This is intense. You heard our students say this was some of the most intense work that they've done compared to college programs they've gone through and everything. So we don't just take everybody who signs up. There's an application process. So click on the link at the end of the webinar, and it's going to take you to where you'll be able to fill out the application. We'll get back to you. We'll set up a time to talk and make sure that this is the right program for you. And you could be the next certified NAP and NLP consultant. I look forward to seeing you in class.
And I look forward to seeing you live on purpose.